These are the plaintiffs, Junko and Neil. Neil says they hired the defendant, an interior designer, to build a wall and split a room with a temporary partition. On the day of the job, the landlord refused to allow them to do the work. The defendant still has their money, won't refund it, and needless to say, they are very upset. They're suing for $550, the amount of their deposit. This is the defendant, J. Del Rosario. He says Junko wanted to try and build the wall without letting the landlord know, but they were caught and the project was rejected. Now they're suing him for breaching the contract. He breached nothing. He hired a crew, bought the materials, and if anyone breached, it's the plaintiffs who owe him. He's accused of not getting the job done. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $1,050, the remaining money owed on the job.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiffs hired the defendant to do some interior design work, but the landlord wouldn't let him do it, and now the defendant won't return their money. But the defendant says the plaintiffs tried screwing over the landlord, and they made a deal. It's the case of, I have designs on your money.
Okay, Junko and Neil, you've asked us not to mention your last names, which is kind of funny because you have a very unusual first name, but a very common last name, but okay. You're suing J. Del Rosario for $550 that you say you paid him as a deposit on a job that he did not do. You are counterclaiming against them $1,050 money owed to you on that job because you're not being able to do it wasn't your fault. Okay, talk to me. Tell me what happened.
Well, we rented an apartment last December in Manhattan that was 3 bedrooms, and the bedrooms were connected to each other, and we needed to partition some way the second and third bedroom, and so we did it by creating a partition, our own little partition of 6 bookcases back to back, 4 bookcases back to back, and a Japanese screen with 4 panels and curtains. So that kind of created a little corridor to the living room. But it was, as I described it, it was kind of shoddy looking, you know, it was kind of ugly looking.
Right.
So we wanted to see if we could get something that would be a little bit better, nice to see. And Junko found on the Japanese website, Mr. Rosario's company, and gave him a call.
How'd you think to advertise on a Japanese website?
I travel to Japan a lot, and I have a lot of friends. And
that's cool. All right.
So,
well, of course you're here, but.
Yes, unfortunately, yes.
So I'll let Junko explain what happened when she met with him, because we went to see him to get some ideas of how we could make this better, improve it. So.
Yeah, that's
Go ahead. The man hasn't been able to say 2 words without you correcting him. Now he's handing the floor to you. You're like, no. Go ahead. Tell me what. Just tell me. You can talk to me. Just tell me
and
what.
that room looks not good because bookcase and Japanese screen. And I want to ask professional people's idea, maybe some dividing more nice way. And I call Jay, and Jay came to my apartment, and Jay said, oh, this is very easy, some stretching kind of wall, he can install very easy. But I said, when my lease finish, maybe difficult to remove. He said, no, it's okay, I will take care until the end, and I will remove if your lease finish. But I'm very nervous because my husband is old, and he cannot carry...
Oh, my goodness!
He cannot carry heavy things. And I asked Jay and...
He's not insulted, he's the one with a young bride.
And Jay said, don't worry, trust me, I study law, and this is not illegal and very easy, and I will take care.
Wait, so Jay told you, I studied law, this is not illegal, and it's very easy.
Very easy, and I will take care. I never...
But why would you worry about it being illegal? Well, because for one thing, you're a renter, so did you get the landlord's permission to do it?
Yes, if some complicated thing like a put nail or... that is not good. And he said, I will not use any nail, some stretching thing.
Okay,
but
what is it you plan to do?
Okay, actually to do a temporary wall. What I was planning to do was put 2x4s and use PL 400 glue adhesive to hold it.
To hold it
place.
onto what?
To the floor.
What
and
is
then
the floor made
fasten
of here?
Parquet flooring.
Well, why would I want, if I'm the owner of the apartment, why would I think it's okay for you to glue something onto my parquet floors?
Well, she wanted the temporary wall. And what happens is once I apply that, I have a system on how to remove it. With
So it's removable?
The glue. Yes, it is. And
Okay.
I've done it.
So in any event, does anybody here talk about the fact that you people don't own this place and that somebody needs to give approval or no? Does that come up or no?
Well, actually, initially when I spoke to Junko and Neil, they didn't want to do it with the owner's permission. They said they wanted me to deliver the materials at night.
No.
In Harlem at night.
That's not.
Well, I don't know what that means. In Harlem at night.
No, nothing against Harlem.
I don't know if there's anything wrong with that. What does that mean?
No, I mean, okay, Bensonhurst at night, whatever. But who brings material at night?
Did you ask him to deliver material at night?
No.
Did you ever ask your landlord if you could do this?
Well, because
We asked,
we had, as I described, our own little partition, which didn't
Well, a
violate the
curtain
lease.
doesn't violate anything, but don't you think this is a little more structural?
Yeah, he said easy to remove, and I said I'm very nervous as we cannot remove. He said I will sign, I will do, install, and I remove until the
Yeah,
end.
he
I will
says
take
he
care.
agreed as part of the contract to remove it.
Yeah,
There's
and
no
he
question.
signed.
Yeah, he agrees that that's what he signed.
Right.
Did you
And-
tell him to bring in materials at 10 o'clock at night?
No.
He said 10:30
Do you have that in writing?
Yes, I do.
10:30. He said 10:30 what?
morning.
At 10 a.m.
Yeah,
But,
you said 10 a.m. and according to you, they told you 10 p.m.
Well, actually, that was a
I
mistake
didn't
that I
say
put
that.
10 p.m. They said come at night because that way
Do
the
you have
management.
in a text that they said come at night?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I want to see
Yes.
that. That tells me a lot.
So if you're the designer and you hear, okay, let's deliver the materials tonight because the landlord won't see, would you get involved?
No, I would not, because it seems like there is some sort of unethical going on, so.
Yeah, it sure does. Now the question, but if the tenant's willing to say that, is the tenant also willing to screw you over?
Probably, maybe yes.
Probably, maybe yes. Can you be more definitive than that? I'm going to go back here.
Okay.
Okay, then how about you?
No, I mean,
You got a no or a yes going here.
okay, no.
Okay, there you go.
No.
Hey, 1 out of 2, you got it. Go inside the courtroom.
How did you two meet?
In Japan. I go there frequently for my job. And
What's your job?
she's a singer, and I'm a journalist.
Oh, awesome.
Hey, we do something?
I don't know.
Who's Champ's Construction?
That's because the person is Japanese that she's communicating with.
Yeah, but what do they have to do with you?
Because I asked her to translate everything.
Oh.
So it's
So
part
the
of
email was
I-
actually in Japanese?
Yes, I
Got- I
gave
got
her a
it,
copy
I
of
got
that
it,
as well.
I got it.
If she needs to verify.
I got it. I had already, so this is an email from Junko. In fact, I had already had, telling the third party that's translating
Yes.
to you, I had already had someone from you come see the place and the renovation project installing a wall and a door, which was planned to start yesterday. Jay brought stuff at 10 a.m., caught by the super who stopped the project. I had told Jay to bring the materials at night, but he insisted he would do that at 10 a.m. So now, you just turn around and looked at your husband and say, did you say that? Did you say that? No, you said that.
Me?
Tell her what just happened.
You
Sent a text
You sent an
to
email.
in Japanese to the person who was doing translating for you, saying, "I told Jay to come at night, and he came at 10 a.m. and got caught by the super."
Personally, they both said at night. Orally.
They both
said-
did?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, why are you looking at her and then fingering her right now, telling her it's your fault, you did it? Now, when the project was called off.
I don't know.
After this, discussing with the mess. Okay, so the super catches you guys. Tell me about that.
Yes. Two of the tradesmen that were working with me, they delivered the materials, and they started taking the materials in the building.
Okay.
And so what happened is they called me and says, "I'm having a problem." I says, "What's wrong?" They said, "The super, he won't let us go up and take the stuff up. It's 4 flights, so they're ready to take everything up. The super he won't let us." And then I called Junko, and of course Junko's logic, she's like blaming everything on me, getting caught by the super.
You shouldn't have been caught. You should have done it at night like I told you to.
Right. So
No, I didn't.
so she's upset by
I
that.
didn't say that.
Okay, honey, I'm looking at the email
Yes.
where you said that, where you
Right.
said I told him to come at night and he didn't.
maybe everything finished. After finish, I thought.
Yeah,
maybe,
you're mad. Once he got caught, you're emailing in Japanese to that third party. Do you want to see it? Or you know what? It's true.
No.
And it says, I told him to come at night. That indicates to me somebody who knows that they're trying to go under the radar and try to, you know, with the understanding that, oh, he's going to be able to clean it up, so it shouldn't be a big deal. Turned out to be a big deal because you're not supposed to do anything without their permission that they consider to be a material alteration. You may not consider it to be that, but if they consider it to be that, you have a problem. So apparently they considered it to be that. Now, did you tried to meet with the landlord and try to convince him that it's not a material alteration?
Actually, what happened is damage control. I mean, they'd already got caught. We had already got caught. We all got caught.
Oh, yeah. I know it's after everybody gets caught. Everybody far prefers to do it under the radar and not get caught.
And then what happened was I said, well, let me talk to him. I'll explain to him my process, how I'm going to install the wall. Maybe it's going to be okay. So I was just.
You met with the landlord or the super?
With the landlord. With the landlord, yeah, because they were. I mean, they wanted. I wanted her to have the. I wanted her to have the wall. I mean, it's her apartment, but I wanted the wall to happen. There's no. I mean, I don't want free money.
Right, but why would you be entitled to the remainder of the contract when you didn't have to build the wall because it got? Wouldn't you just be entitled to your liquidated damages? Why would you? Why should I find your? I find they breached.
Yes.
I think everybody here knew that they were doing it on the sly.
Yes.
But I don't think it's a problem if you're doing it on the sly because you don't owe a duty to the landlord. I think it's a problem if they're doing it on the sly because they do owe a duty to the landlord because they have a contract with the landlord saying they won't do things like that on the sly. And I think that it's very clear from that email. I told him to come deliver the stuff at night. Yeah, frankly, if you had delivered the stuff at night, you probably wouldn't have gotten caught. That's why she says, I told him to do that because she knows that you wouldn't have gotten caught and then we wouldn't be here. But what I want to understand from you, though, is why is, and this is part of what Junko said in one of her emails to you, is why is $550 fair? So you explain to me, why is $550 fair?
Okay, I had 3 tradesmen ready to do the work, so I still have to pay them no matter what.
Right.
And then the material damage, I would say it's probably the drywall because it's already pre-cut to take it up to 4 flights.
Yeah, you know what, you can stop. You've already convinced me that it's $550. I'm ruling in favor of the defendant in this case. I don't think that he breached a contract. I think that everybody knows darn well what the contract was, and it was this. I hope we don't get caught. Both sides understood that. And if you did, that's a problem that you have with your landlord. On your counterclaim against them, 0.
Okay.
Because I think that you're adequately compensated for your trouble by by keeping the deposit. That's the point of keeping the deposit. Okay, good luck, folks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Just hold on right there, please. Go back.
All right, so here comes the plaintiff. You heard the gavel come down against you there. So what's your reaction to losing this case? Here, step forward a little bit. Here, you face that way. All right. What's your feeling about losing this case?
Well, disappointed, obviously, because we paid $550 for nothing.
He said that if you introduce Japanese customer, you can retrieve back more than $5,500 easy.
He said we can retrieve the money.
All right. Okay.
But I don't want to introduce anybody to that sneaky.
All right. Head right around the corner this way, okay? All right, come on out here. I don't know, he's what are you laughing about?
It's Junko's logic. She's funny. I have fun talking to them and trying to deal with them, but basically just be considerate and try to, I incur a certain amount of expenses and just recognize it.
What are you taking on a job when you know they're trying to sneak it under the radar like that?
Well, the client is, you want to try to do the best for the client, and
but you didn't get the proper okay,
Yeah, but as long as you make them aware that what you're doing and how they want to approach it.
You would do it again the same way next time?
Yes, I would.
Harvey?
Okay, Kurt, in some ways, the plaintiffs have what we call in the law unclean hands, which means you walk in dirty, because they were doing this around the landlord's back. They weren't allowed to do it, and it's one of the reasons they lost.